brought in 2023, and now it finally went to trial this week. And there was a mistrial in the case, and there was a mistrial because it was a hung jury. And there was a hung jury because the jury couldn't decide. The jury couldn't decide on a conviction or an acquittal. In the way it works in a jury trial is you need unanimous decisions, right? So you need all 12 jurors to agree to convict, or you need all 12 jurors to agree to acquit. And so that's what happened. Hamadakiapi, Nick Tilsen Amachiapi, Chanteo Ashtenape Chuzapalo. It has been informed that we had an audio issue. I just gave the most crisp, perfect introduction ever, but then it wasn't even caught by the Oyate and the people. But just wanted to acknowledge the little audio snafu. I greet you in my Lakota language with a warm, heartfelt handshake. We're here. We wanted to do this. Can you start the countdown? We wanted to do this to inform the people. There's all the media that reaches out, but what I really care about at the end of the day is to inform the people, inform the Oyate and the grassroots people everywhere, to give an update. And again, before I give the full update, I just wanted to start off by saying thank you to all of the people, to thank you for all of our medicine people, to thank you for everybody that prayed, sent good energy, support. It has meant the world to me. It's meant the world to me to be supported by my community and my people during this trial and during this journey. I also want to thank all kinds of other people from different movements that have expressed solidarity. Not just people, across the Osheti Shakoi, but throughout the indigenous world, but also in different movements and organizations have reached out to give support of myself on this journey, and it means a lot to me. It has given me the strength to keep moving forward. So I want to jump into the what this means. Yesterday, this trial was a trial that was stemming from an issue that happened in 2022, and charges that were brought forth in 2023, and it's 2026, and we were on trial this week. And there was a mistrial that was that happened, and the mistrial was a result of a hung jury, and a hung jury means that they couldn't come to a consensus decision. There's 12 jurors in the case, and that they need full consensus of all 12 jurors to either convict or to do an acquittal, and they were at an impasse, meaning that they couldn't all agree. And as a result that they couldn't all agree to either dismiss or acquit the charges or convict, it resulted in a mistrial. It does not mean that my charges have been dismissed. I am still under indictment from the original indictments that had went before a grand jury. And the prosecution, in this case, the Pennington County State's Attorney's Office, has a 45-day window in order to inform the judge in their intent to retry the case. They have the right to retry the case. The current indictments against me still stand. I'm still under indictment, and it's up to them, if they want to retry the case. My hope is that they don't. My hope is that they feel that they have, expended enough of, Pennington County taxpayer dollars on this effort to prosecute me, and it resulted in a hung jury. And my goal is, and my hope is that they move on to other things, and that I'm able to move on to other things. And so that's kind of where it's at right now. We have this window of time in which they're going to make that decision. There's various different things that can happen in this window of time. They really won't bring new charges during this time, but they could engage in conversations with myself and my attorneys on a deal. They could drop the charges. They could choose not to meet the deadline and to not actually pursue the charges at all anymore, or retry the case. And that's where things stand. So it's interesting. It's not a clear win, but it is a step in the right direction. That after years and years of a legal process, went before a jury that through a process that was selected. All the jurors were members of the Pennington County, citizens of Pennington County, and we presented our evidence. They presented our evidence. I testified on the stand, and as a result, they ended up at a hung jury. And so this is where we stand at the present time. And so it has been a journey. I'm tired. I'm exhausted, but I am also very relieved and have lots and lots of gratitude for the support. The courtroom was packed by elders, members of the community, supporters, comrades, people who love and care. And it was touching to me, and it gave me strength to face this head on, to face it head on. I think that we should have the right to have cop watches. I think that if you look at the history of movements, you look at, the history of the Black Panther Party, the history of the American Indian movement, the history of La Raza, all these movements, many of them started cop watches at the very beginning of them to protect their communities. And I think that is a right that we should all have. And it's a right that we should continue to exercise. And it's a strategy that continues to make our communities safer, not only just safer for members of the community, but also safer for law enforcement. It creates accountability for law enforcement. It creates accountability when people in the community are watching out for each other. And it creates a safer environment all around. And I think that we as a people should continue to do those things. And we should do those things in a good way. I wanted to send a special thank you to my legal team, John Murphy, Bruce Ellison, both of them who did a great job of supporting me, representing me. Want to thank the teams of people here at NDN Collective that organized here, the staff of NDN that helped create avenues for people to be able to support and to organize here, helping with logistics for elders, taking care of our people, feeding our people. And I want to thank people and our funders and our supporters and everybody out there for not letting this deter your support. In fact, doubling down in your support for our work in the community. I think when charges are brought against leaders of movements and organizations and people that are organizing to create change in the world, it is often a strategy to discredit, to make people think twice about supporting our work. And we've experienced the opposite here at NDN. We've experienced an outpouring of support by our funders, our partners, our movement partners, our friends, our relatives, our spiritual leaders, families, and that means a lot to me. It means a lot to me because I built an organization to create change in the world, to invest into building the collective power of Indigenous people, communities, and nations, and giving us having the ability and right to exercise our inherent rights to self-determination. And so I just wanted to take this time to thank you, to give you an all update. We'll continue to wait and see what happens in the next 45 days and see what happens from there. So I think we will take questions from the from the public. I'm not looking at the stream, but there's questions that are popping up on this little iPad right here. So I will what am I doing here? Am I just going down the list? Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, what's next for NDN? I first want to say it's what's next, but it's also what we've been doing. The notion that NDN has stopped doing any of its work as a result of these charges against me is not true. There has been people. We've had a team on the ground organizing, doing Know Your Rights trainings, doing patrolling right there in South Minneapolis, supporting what's been going on there for several weeks now. We are supporting the family of Renee Good and in a public memorial that is planned for February 7th. That's coming up right around the corner. Authoritarianism is real and it's on the rise, and so us continuing to do Know Your Rights trainings, non-co-op trainings, non-violent direct action trainings. We got to get our people trained up. We got to keep our catalyzing the land back movement forward, and we'll continue to do that work. And so, and right here, I mean, we're incubating a new community development corporation here at Rapid City called the Mniluzahan Community Development Corporation that will take the lead on some of our community development efforts right here in Mniluzahan. We will continue our support of local organizations here in Rapid City like Chesapa Otipi and the Osheti Shakoi Community Academy and many other awesome organizations. So that's what's around the corner. What is the next question is, what does this really mean? Does this result mean they really had no case? I mean, that's up for interpretation. I think that this result means that they didn't have a strong enough case to convince 12 citizens of Pennington County to get 12 people to agree that these charges were strong enough to convict me. That's what it means. And I think the facts alone in this case tell the story. I don't think the case was strong. I don't believe the case was strong. I have continuously said that I believe this case brought against me has been politically motivated, because I don't, with the absence of politics, I don't think I would be facing these charges. So those are some of the things I would say as a response to that question. I don't believe their case was strong. Is Pennington County wasting taxpayer dollars with this case? In my opinion, yes. I think that tax-paying citizens of Pennington County have every right to make sure that their resources that they pay into to taxes go to improving the quality of life for the community, help to make our community safer. And I think that if you think about what's happened here, the Pennington County State's Attorney's Office has started expending resources and effort into this since 2022. That's 2022, 3, 4, 5, and now we're in 2026. To have them use your dollars and tax-paying dollars to pursue these efforts doesn't seem like it's a good use of public dollars. It seems like those dollars should be used for other things. Was there any natives on the jury to get equal representation? I do not believe that there was any self-identifying natives on the jury. I don't know that for a fact. They fill out questionnaires, and those questionnaires aren't open to the public. And so I'm not privy to, discuss any of that information that was in there. But there wasn't a bunch of natives on the jury. And I will say this to the people, some of my comments and some of the things that I'm saying on here, I'm being very careful right now in this period of time too, because I still am under indictment. And so I'm trying to thread the needle here and be transparent with the people, because I think it's important, while at the same time I have to make decisions to protect myself because I'm under indictment too. So is it double jeopardy if they appeal? No, it's not really a reappeal. I would say I would frame the question like this. The prosecution has 45 days to decide to retry the case. That is a legal right that they already have because the current indictments are in place. Yeah, that's how I'd answer that question. Yeah. Last question is, what else can we do in the next 45 days to help? I think some of the things that people can do, I think that particularly, specifically, tax-paying citizens of Pennington County, people who live in Pennington County, who pay taxes in Pennington County, to contact the county commissioners, to contact the state's attorney's office, and tell them that you don't want your resources to be spent on pursuing, this case, that you don't want your tax-paying dollars to be used to retry this case. I think it's important. The Pennington County State's Attorney's Office is accountable to the voters of Pennington County at the end of the day. And I think that's where I would have people spend their time, energy, people that live here, work here, that pay taxes here. That's one of the biggest ways. I think people can continue to contribute to the NDN Legal Fund, the effort to try to deplete resources of NDN while we're fighting this and battling this has been a tactic and a strategy. And so contributions to the NDN Legal Fund at ndnlegalfund.org goes into resources that can help support legal strategy here at NDN. We also use that fund for other things. We use that fund for duty of care for members of our community, and we use it to protect our people and community. So any leftover resources that don't get used to support me in this effort, they actually go back into that fund and get recycled for other efforts around duty of care. Okay, we're up here. This is a question from an unnamed source. Hey, so whoever this unnamed anonymous press source that's asking this question, I've often been told, don't answer questions to the press. But I'll do a favor here. The question here is, the prosecution heavily focused on the moment. Okay, this is where we're not going to answer this question. I appreciate. It sounds like this member of a press was likely in the courtroom. I'm not going to discuss what happened in the courtroom or the details of my case. Again, that is for protection for myself and also for respect for the process. These legal processes that we have to navigate, it gets very particular. I'm just a Ikjewi Chasha, a common person out here. I'm not a lawyer, but anything we end up saying ends up being used against you. That is true. And I say anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. That is true, my relatives. That is true and will never be truer than it is right now. So just wanted to say that, I will end. I will end by saying this. Thank you to everybody. I want to give encouragement to people out there. I don't think that the prosecution against me should deter people from organizing in their communities, from doing cop watches, for standing up. I think that the reality of the situation is that often they pursue things that try to discourage us from doing the work that we're trying to do in the community, and we can't let that happen. We can't let the efforts of the system keep us down. We have to be strong. We have to look. We have to hold our heads high. We have to be proud of who we are, the places that we come from, the integrity that we stand on and the things that we're doing for our community and for our people. And so when these things happen, don't use them as reasons to not do something. In fact, use it as reasons to do something, because each and every one of us have a fundamental role, we have a fundamental right, and we have a fundamental responsibility to improving the quality of life for our people, for our land, making our communities safer and stronger. And that is what, that is what we are about. That's what we're trying to do here. So just wanted to say thank you to everybody. I also want to give big shout outs to the team here at NDN Collective. There's so much work that happens here. Every staff member of NDN Collective that does the work that they do in all the ways that they do it. I just want to thank each and every one of them. The board of directors for standing by me during this process, and especially the grandmas and the grandpas and the aunties and the uncles. They came here, they supported me, they stood by me, they prayed with me, they encouraged me, and that means the world to me, because every single thing that generation has done has created the opportunity for us to do what we are doing now here today. And our best way to honor you is through our actions, to show you that we will continue on the good fight, and we'll continue to improve the quality of life for our people. We'll continue to fight for our land and create a pathway for the next generation. So it's been good to be with you here today on this live, and want to thank my wife. I want to thank my children for their struggles during this time. They didn't sign up for all of this. They just signed up to live life, and they have been in struggle alongside with me throughout this process. And I want to thank them, and that I love them deeply, and I look forward to continuing to do the work that we're doing here for the community and for the people. So thank all of you. Wopila tanka echichi apolo doksha ake wachi ankikte.